So I was called to diagnose this vehicle and to check the problem, what's wrong with it. And you can see radiator temperature sensor, table boost field, and crank variation hotline, and fuel tank pressure sensor low, and 5-volt reference 1 circuit problem. So what I'll do now is I'll try and see if I can fix this 5-volt reference before I'll check any other problem. So I'll go to live data. So even if you come here and you check the fault code with the system, you can see the 5-volt reference, and it is history fill. And let me check the live data and see the 5-volt reference that I'll be getting. So let me go to engine. I think the 5-volt reference should be in the engine. Boost and supposed to be in the engine side. If not, let me check how much it is, and let me see if it will be there. Okay, so you can see this is the 5-volt reference, and 5-volt reference 1 is 0 volts, and 5-volt reference 2, all of them, the rest are 5 volt. So what I'll do is I'll check why 5-volt reference 1 is 0 volts, then I'll start my diagnosing from there. I think I'll do it that way. So after diagnosing, you can see the reference voltage 5 comes and goes. It's not stable. The reference voltage 1 comes and goes, and it is not stable. So let me turn it on and go to, it's not stable. So reference voltage 5, it's not stable, and you can see the way it's fluctuating. And the vehicle doesn't start, so we'll try again, and you can see now it's not cranking anymore. It's not cranking anymore, and when you check it will tell you it's not sending command to the ECU. So I'll continue diagnosing, and when I test on the relay it cranks. So what I'll do now is, because even if I send command, so what I'll do now is I'll go and check if when I send command to the starter relay, does it come. So you can send command to the starter relay through with the machine. So let me check that one, and if it doesn't work, then that means I have to speak with the customer for us to get a new control board. Sorry. So I'll connect this to ground, and I'll touch it with the start with it. So when I send a command, the tester is supposed to turn on, and if it's not turning on, then that means there's an issue with it, because now the test light has to turn on because there is a command that has been sent to the, so it's not coming on. That means there is an issue with it. So the control unit sometimes starts and sometimes do not start. But what I'll do now is I'll take off the table boost sensor, which is this one. I'll take it off, then see if the 5-volt will be restored. Now what I'll do is, let me go to the 5-volt reference and take the table boost sensor out. So you go to, let me select only those ones, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll take the table boost sensor out, and you can see that the 5-volt reference is at So this is the turbo boost sensor, which is the map sensor, checking the amount of, or checking the pressure entering into the engine through before it gets into the manifold. So now the moment I took that sensor out, you can see it's now 5 volts. So that means that sensor is shorting the signal to ground. So you can see 5 volts. And what I'll do next is I'll measure the 5 volts at the tip and see if I'll get that exact 5 volts that the computer is giving me. So it's the sensor that is shorting it to ground. So I'll speak to the customer to get me a new sensor so that I can continue the diagnosis. So now let me go back and erase all the fault code and see if the reference voltage will go off. If the reference voltage 1 will go off. So now, because I took the starter out, that's why you're having starter issue. So now let me clear it now. So now what I'll do is I'll clear the fault code and see if I'll get that fault code still in the system. If I don't get it in the system again, that means we have to replace the turbo boost sensor. So reference voltage and you can see now, that now the reference voltage is no more showing. So that means the sensor has been shorting the voltage down, that 5 volt reference down, and it has been affecting the control unit. So what I'll do now is I'll go back and speak with the client to see if I can get it. So now I'll measure the voltage and see why it is shorting it down. Then I'll know what to do from there. So I'll try and start the vehicle and see if it will start. Then I'll know what to do from there. So they brought a new fuse box for me to replace, but I told them that I need to do a deeper diagnosing before I will replace any fuse box. So now I'll try and do that and see what will happen. The fault code I'm getting is the starter relay issue. Starter relay issue and turbo boost sensor and performance. So I'll speak with the customer. So now what I'll do is let me go back and check this command, if it's able to send command, if the control unit is able to send command to the starter to start, then I'll know what to do. If I'll check the starter relay and see if there is any issue. So command to starter relay. So you can see now it turns on. The command to starter relay turns on, which means the control unit is sending command to the starter relay to turn on. So now I'll go and check the starter relay and fix it again and see what will happen from there. So you can see the mistake that I made. Instead of the relay, the GM should come down. I brought the GM up rather. That's why I'm getting starter relay issue. So what I'll do now is I'll turn it this way. So I'll turn it this way. Now I'll crank the vehicle and it's supposed to start without any issue. It's supposed to crank. If it's still not starting, then I think I have to check why it's behaving. So now, after, you can see the vehicle is running now. The vehicle is running now. So what I'll do is I'll try and erase the fault codes that came in it. So I'll erase all the fault code. So go to DTC and read all the fault code. So it's now it's now reporting camshaft actuator impulses history. So I erase the fault code and I'm not having, and I'll do the relay and I'm not having any issue. The intake will not go off because I've taken out that sensor, so let me turn off the ignition and turn it on, then erase the fault code and see the ones that will remain. So now it's left with only these 2 fault codes. So the vehicle is now running, and you can see that it's running perfectly. So I'll do the relearn right now so that it will be fixed, and it will left with the intake and the table boost sensor. So now let me go back. I'll fix the new sensor that the customer brought. So what I'll do is I'll check if I'm still getting my 5-volt reference. If I'm still getting my 5-volt reference, then it's good to go. 5-volt reference 1, reference 2, reference 3, reference 4. That means the sensor is okay now. So let me go to erase fault code and erase the other fault code. Now every fault code should go off. So you can see status history, status history, status history, status history, status history. So let me erase all the fault code and erase it again. You have to erase it twice, then you cycle the ignition. So now it's left with only the table performance. So go back and read, and the radiator, that one the customer will deal with it. So the table performance will go off the moment I try the sensor and it's okay. And this variant I can be able to do this thing, the crank relay. So this is the new sensor that the customer bought, and this is the old sensor. So I'll fit the new sensor in it and try the vehicle, start the vehicle and try it. You take the screw and screw it to hold it down to prevent anything, any leakage or anything. So I'll try and use the screw to hold it down. Then I'll start the vehicle. It's okay now. I'll start the vehicle and go for a test drive and call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.